Buff Nation? Welcome into DNVR Buffs Primetime. We are presented by Illegal Pete's, everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers.
We're hitting it up right after this.
Yes, we are.
You promised.
I'm down. I'm always down.
Alyssa's going to find some work excuse because she's scheduled herself on every show for the last 9 days.
Nope, I'm coming. I'm ready.
Take a load
All right,
off,
let's
Alyssa. Come
go.
on.
Let's go.
What's up, chat? How you guys doing today? We got a pretty packed show. We actually had a commitment just come through, Andre.
It kind of feels like a classic. You always have like
It's
breaking news coming through. Just Coach Prime.
wild.
It's almost as if this entire hire was made simply for your content, Jake. He's like looking out for your career, Coach
I love
Prime
him
is.
for it.
I'm no
Yes.
kidding. Yeah, I should hope so. My
no
God.
joke. I wake up every day just, thank you, Coach. Thank you.
I believe it, brother. I believe it.
Jeremiah McCrimmon is a Buff. If you guys don't remember, we talked about him last week, I think on Monday. Adam Munster Tiger of Buff Stampede and 247 Sports put out an article saying that Jeremiah McCrimmon was considering a move to Boulder later this summer. Well, now he commits. This guy's from Coahoma Community College in Mississippi. Listed at, I believe, 6'3", 6'6". Seen conflicting numbers.
Okay.
Thanks to Coahoma Community College. 6'4",
Coahoma.
actually. We'll go with that. 6'4", 285. I think he's a younger kid. He played just JUCO last year, so should at least be 3-4 years of eligibility and another big tackle.
Big tackle. Can never have enough.
We need him.
Yep. Actually, you don't even have to specify offensive or defensive. Yep, big tackle.
Right. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yep, we'll take that.
Put him in the mix.
The big news that came out on Friday, however, Pat Shurmur
Yeah.
hired as an offensive analyst for your CU Buffs. And, you know, the crossover between Broncos fans and Buffs fans is pretty strong.
Yep.
So
Yep.
this news came out, and there were some people, the sky was falling for some people.
Sure.
Pat Shurmur won 9 games as the head coach of the Giants in that 2-year stint not too long ago.
Yep.
Had a pretty mediocre, and I think that's being rich, offense in Denver when he was the offensive coordinator.
Oh, it was really bad.
But he comes in as an offensive analyst, Dre. And this is why people shouldn't freak out. Because he's not going to be the quarterback's coach. He's not going to be the offensive coordinator. He's not going to be the play caller. He's simply an offensive analyst. He's one of 3 now. Coach Pollock, who is on the whistle. Shout out Neely and the pregame show. Gunnar White and Shaw Davis are your offensive analysts now with Pat Shurmur. So what does an offensive analyst do, Andre? Let's break it down.
Yeah. I think the title, for one, is left specifically ambiguous so that an analyst may analyze a full array of things, right?
Yes.
He can be analyzing your offense, another team's scheme, trends at large that are occurring around
Analytics.
Analytics. Yeah, it could be finding you plays, could be helping you find talent, establish different trends, maybe find ways around new rules. Boy, it is as ambiguous a term as there could be.
Yeah. That's it. He's just coming in to help out.
Right, and for the most part, I think what you see in the latest Well-Off, sitting down with Coach, talking some things through. You obviously have a really bright mind in Sean Lewis.
Yep.
You have I hope no one disagrees with me, but what I think is a pretty bright mind in Coach Prime on the offensive side.
I think that's a popular opinion here.
We know that. I should hope so. We know that that's certainly one of the things that, as a coach, kind of drives Coach Prime. And now you have a completely different perspective. Someone who's coached under Andy Reid, someone who's coached under Chip Kelly, someone who's had to coach in the NFL and took a team like the Minnesota Vikings with Case Keenum at quarterback all the way to the NFC Championship game, right? And adjusted that West Coast offense to a more mobile quarterback and kind of getting him out in space on naked boots and stuff like that, and can help Shador with pro language and more pro concepts and the rest of that offense, frankly. And has had to shepherd a guy like Daniel Jones into the NFL, mobile quarterback, again, adjusting that offense with the Saquon Barkley. inserting more RPOs, stuff like that in the NFL. Not many great takeaways from what we saw when he was with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
But this man has an array of experience, not just as an offensive coordinator, a job he's been doing since 2002, over 20 years experience as an offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach in the NFL, but he's also been an O-line coach. He has experience, coaching his alma mater at Michigan State. He's coached at Stanford. If you remember, there were some rumors when he was hired with the Broncos of him being the head coach at Michigan State instead of Midnight Mel.
Mm-hmm. It's a good football mind. You can't say no to this.
Come on. It's silly. I've always thought the hate was too far. And again, not many notable things I have to say about his tenure in Denver.
Right.
But I think the rest of his career, you can't just throw that out.
And, I mean, at the worst, this just is a guy that has a ton of experience, who's been around the NFL, who can... I mean, this is Sean Lewis's offense. And I tweeted out, Brett Bartolone is going to have more influence on this offense, or play calling, the schemes, game plan, stuff like that, than Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur's just coming in. It's like quality control, right? That's kind of another name we've seen for analysts.
Yeah.
Quality control coaches, where it's also ambiguous, so it's you can do a wide range of things.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, he can come in and, tell Coach Prime, like, oh, the way you have your staff set up, this is where it's the same as how I've done things in the past. Mm-hmm. This is how it's different. This is how it's different from how I've seen Andy Reid do things. This is how it's different from how I've seen Chip Kelly do things. This is where our strength and conditioning differs from, like, what we were doing in Philadelphia or what we were doing in Minnesota. It's just another,
Yep.
opinion, just another knowledge base to have in that room.
Right, and if you go back to what Mike Zimmer was doing at JSU and what he may be doing for CU, it sounded like he didn't even step in the building most times.
Right.
He was doing most of his work from home. He'd step in, a couple times a week and meet with the coaches, I'm sure, but it's not like this guy's going to be they're waiting on Pat Shurmur's input every Monday after a game, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So
yeah. And then the other beauty of this is maybe just about any other coach, I might be more concerned about someone like Pat Shurmur coming in. Coach Prime, guy who controls the room, controls the respect as he does in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I just observe it on Well-Off.
Right. That. Oh man.
Right.
It's that simple.
Like, he's going to keep everyone in line. He's going to make sure everyone's heard. But at the end of the day, it's Sean Lewis's offense, and he gets final say. And Coach Prime gets final say and he has to report. Sean Lewis has to report to him. Like, it's all very clear cut, very easy. That's where the trust in Coach Prime in that is just like, oof, forget it.
Right. So
it's there.
Just relax. Just breathe out, guys. It'll be okay. Promise. The other big news that came out on Friday, Demouy Kennedy did an interview with Life in Football. Shout out to those guys.
Speaking of Demouy Kennedy, if Alabama does this, does anyone care?
Says it about another school?
Was anyone like, oh, Bama hired Pat Shurmur as a quality control or analyst? Like, oh, no, it's going to ruin things.
Bro,
like, you would never care.
USC,
it'd be like, oh, another former NFL coach going as an analyst to Bama. Like, it must be a day that ends in a Y.
USC did the same thing with Cliff Kingsbury.
Come on, man. Get with it.
Yep.
This is what we're doing.
But Demouy Kennedy, he talked about Colorado's strength program, compared it to Bama, and said specifically that the technique, how they teach technique at Colorado, is different and better than it is at Alabama. And honestly, watch Well-Off. Watch the pregame show, watch Reach the People, because you'll see Coach Mo breaking down drills constantly for these guys. And that's what Demouy Kennedy is talking about. But everyone saw him comparing it to Alabama, ran with it. Oh, he says CU's strength team is better than Bama, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It may be, too. That's entirely a possibility. But it's just...
what they're doing over there is pretty impressive.
It really is. Look at what happened to Travis and Jimmy Horn this offseason.
Yep.
How much bigger they got. Tyler Brown, what he's done.
Right.
So Coach Mo is... I mean, we've been praising him for a few months now.
Yeah, he's not messing around.
He's not messing around at all. But I don't know. I just thought it was funny how people reacted to this. What do you take from, I guess, Demouy Kennedy comparing CU to Alabama?
It's the Coach Prime way, man. You just see it in like every single walk of life type deal, and it doesn't surprise me at all. Like, he really seems like a guy who's exactly what Demouy Kennedy's describing, who the way he communicates with his staff is then going to lead to his staff really making sure you're dialed in on the technique we're trying to show you.
Right.
It's just that easy.
It really
like
is.
he's not reinventing the wheel. I think he really understands the athlete, though, and knows that sometimes you just need a little one-on-one. Let's really spell this out. Let's really talk about all the questions you have, all the little variances you have with this technique, to then go on the practice field and coach it up.
Right. I want to save some of this for Ryan because I know he's going to have a take when he gets back. But look at how these kids eat at CU. Look at how they train. It's world class, man. And I know there's other colleges out there. Bama's probably another one that are treating their kids, feeding their kids at a world class level. But I mean, just because Demouy Kennedy played 2 years there, like he knows what Bama's about.
Yep.
This isn't a guy who was like on campus for, a spring or a whole summer off season, whatever, and then left kind of bitter because he didn't get his playing time and then is kind of going off about it. No, he was actually just talking about Colorado.
That's always big news when it's Coach Prime. Everyone loves a good Coach Prime headline and what have you. The other thing is, like, guys, look, the simple nature of things is when you are in it, you are going to talk better about what you are in versus what you were. Right. Jake, if I'm asking how you like your girlfriend right now, you're not telling me like, well, actually my ex was, there were some things that I actually appreciate a bit more about her. Right. Like, that's just not what we're going to do.
Right.
It's human nature, guys.
Last little piece for this segment. Coach Prime confirms his Nike deal on Friday.
Big time.
A lot of people were wondering what was going to happen. He's, of course, been with Under Armour since his professional career ended. Became an ambassador in 2009. Brought Under Armour on at JSU. Got them a whole new deal. CU has been a Nike school since 1995.
Yep.
They have a contract running through 2024, 2025. And this seems like the outcome that was going to happen. It's what we got.
Former Nike athlete, of course.
Of course.
And now posing with his old shoe. I think this is massive.
Yeah.
Just massive with the like brand integration that this allows. None of that murkiness where like, oh, coach is actually this, but the rest of the team is that.
Mm-hmm.
None of these worries with what he'll wear on the sidelines. And I think what it does for CU to be a full-blown Nike school and already the kind of genius marketing you have behind this program, all led by Coach Prime, you can just enhance that much more with a brand like Nike, which obviously in athletics, like, I don't think there's really a bigger brand.
Right.
And, that stuff does matter in this college football world and recruiting world and stuff like that. And, I mean, I think sky's the limit. Like, if there was ever a man who could move some shoes, that's Coach Prime for you.
And there's more coming.
Yeah.
He was trying on hats in the Well Off video in the pregame show when Smitty came in and, they were talking about the cleats. Mm-hmm. They were talking about the uniforms, talking about the helmets. It's going to be flashy. It's going to be sick. It's going to be just like Coach Prime.
And he can embrace it in full, and it's going to be just glorious.
Uniform combinations, too.
Yep.
Neely said it, man. We're going to rival Oregon in terms of uniform combinations this year. We may not wear the same thing twice this season, so we'll see. Stay tuned.
That's really exciting. I mean, the world this opens up is just phenomenal.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to our friends over at Shady Rays. If you've been keeping up with our Nuggets coverage, the guys are out there having a blast in Vegas, and they're always looking fresh in their Shady Rays.
Yeah. We were at Zach Stevens' wedding, rocking our Shady Rays in suits and stuff. It was amazing, man.
Hell yeah.
Congrats to Zach. It was a great time. Lots of good people. lots, great to meet his family and stuff like that. It was just a blast. But, out in the mountains, that high altitude sun, trying to look classy, shady rays make you look classy, and they protect your eyes from the altitude sun. Check and check. Designer quality glasses at half the price. You use code DNVR. Half of that half price. It's just an insane deal, Jake. It's an insane deal.
My man, you crushed it. You can shop their entire collection at the Park Meadows Mall. Or, as Dre said, go to shadyrays.com and use code DNVR. You'll get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. You can try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Then shout out to Shador's number 2.
Yeah.
Hope a lot of you were grilling out there this weekend. It was a beautiful weekend out here in Colorado.
Was gorgeous.
Make sure you have some Shador's number 2 to pair with whatever you're grilling. You can go to plbse.com. Use the code ALLCITY, all caps, all one word at checkout. You'll get 10% off your order of Shador's number 2.
Yeah, I got to put that on some chicken here soon.
Oh, yeah. Chicken thighs?
Yep.
Can't be beat.
Yep. That sounds about right.
All right. What do we got? Alyssa, I sent you a video. I've told you about Winston Watkins before, haven't I?
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's kind of an important name in CU recruit.
Very important.
Yeah.
I think he was the first recruit to actually commit to Coach Prime when he was hired. He committed, I think, literally when he was hired that night. 2025 5-star wide receiver. This guy is just spectacular.
No kidding, man.
Get him on the field now. Holy cow.
24, next recruiting class.
25. Or 24 is, yes, this next one, so he's after. So we're a year and a half out. Yeah.
So he's entering his junior year now.
Yes.
What a freak.
He's sick.
It's all about the body.
Yeah.
Not just, big kid. Yeah, put that clip on. So it's the body adjustment. It's the ability to use his body to keep a guy out. It's the simple strength to just be unfazed as a guy's running into him and get that ball that's thrown well behind him. What a player.
Yeah.
What a player.
He moves so smoothly too.
Yeah.
Great routes.
Yeah.
Attacks the ball. Crazy, this kid's only 17, man.
I know. Where's he from?
He's from Florida. IMG Academy. From that pipeline, man.
Yeah. That's some big-time football being played out there.
So he put out a few clips this weekend. This one saying he's destroying one-on-ones. I love his little dance, too.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
Great stuff. We'll see more of him, I'm very sure. Some other news. Zico. Seydou Traore found a home. He's committed to Mississippi State. So
Yep.
good for him. Lands in the SEC. Probably in a more friendly offense in the air raid. Could kind of, be more so a flex tight end, or wide receiver. So good for him.
First wave of guys leaving when Coach Prime arrived, basically, right after the Louis speech to the team, within the first 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys kind of went FCS, D2. Then there was the second wave, right? The guys like the Jake Wileys and what have you,
Right.
the
Deion Smith,
Jordan Tyson, right? Guys who had stayed around, and Zico's one of these.
Yep.
Or transferred in, and then we got to end a winter, and it was like, you know what? We're all going to have to go our separate ways. But those guys all went Power 5. UCLA, Oklahoma, and Zico's going to Mississippi State.
Yep.
Those are the guys who couldn't make this roster.
Yep. There you go, man.
The dudes on this roster, you know where they're going?
To the league.
The National Football League. That's damn straight. Yeah, that's exactly right. So I'm excited, man. It all checks out. The industry, believe what you want about Coach Prime. See what the industry is telling you about Coach Prime. And his ability to recruit and evaluate talent and bring in talent.
We'll be watching.
Look at that. Yeah. Zico, we wish him all the best. How's the chat and Buff Nation feel about Zico?
I think they really like him still. He became quickly a fan favorite. Was doing vlogs and stuff.
I know.
Of course, from London, people just love the accent and all that.
Right.
It really is a shame it didn't work out here, but we wish him the best. We'll be watching, and he landed at a great spot that where if he's ready and can fit in, he's only got 2 months right now.
Yeah.
He could make an impact.
Fun offense to see him in as a move tight end, for sure.
Alyssa, I sent you an article. 247 Sports posted this on Friday. College football's most improved teams, Nebraska, Miami, among 2023 breakout candidates, Dre.
Yep.
We can start at number 10.
You're high on Miami having a bounce back, yeah?
Ish.
Okay.
They've got some talent.
Yep. Like that for you.
Number 10, Arkansas Razorbacks. KJ Jefferson, of course, comes back, but it's the SEC. I mean, Georgia's
Raheem
still there.
Sanders at running
That guy's
back.
a beast.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's amazing. Tesla was the kid they sniped from CU, right? So that'll be interesting seeing him in that offense for sure. So yeah, there's some talent. They've got that former O-line coach from Georgia that's been there a couple years now.
Right.
See if you can finally find some results. Funny to see them here. Last year was when people expected them to pop.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't necessarily work out that way. We'll see this season.
Number 9, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Matt Rule, of course, coming in. Jeff Sims going to be the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you buying that the Huskers will be improved?
I mean, we've talked about this, Jake. I am not buying it. We've talked about how Matt Rule teams in year one aren't usually the ones making that huge jump. I think they underachieved last year, and last year was kind of the year where they would have popped off, right? Like veteran quarterback, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Easier schedule. Doesn't work out that way. I actually think they're going to take a step back before they take a step forward, and this is that year where they do that. 6.5 is what Bet365 has their win total. We are both in on the under.
Yes, sir.
As is the book, because the juice is minus 150 on that under. So
get on it. Number 8, the Auburn Tigers.
It's a lot of buzz about Auburn.
Is there?
Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze gets the headlines.
This team, just talent-wise, I don't think has been up there the last few years.
They haven't, man. They absolutely have not.
Haven't had a quarterback.
Yep.
I have no idea who their quarterback is this year.
It's just last year got so rough, man. Like by the end of the season, it was really like, oof, what are we doing here? Who are we starting? Who is this coach?
Yeah, they fired Harsin a year too late, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, that was like a McDaniels situation where 2 months in, it was like, oh gosh.
Right.
We screwed up having this guy at the helm.
And then number 7, Dre, Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. We'll go through the rest of the list.
They got Colorado being ahead of Auburn, Nebraska, and Arkansas, right? I can tell you that.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
We want more, though.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep. No doubt.
They mentioned the highest rated transfer class in the country. They, of course, mentioned Coach Prime. But in terms of improvement, I mean, this team won 1 game last year. And we keep saying, 5-6 wins would be fantastic. And Joel Klatt talked about it. A 4-win jump in college football is tremendous.
Yeah, it's huge.
Anything more than that is unprecedented almost.
Right.
Is 7 too low for what may happen on the field at Folsom this year?
Yeah, I kind of think it is. Especially with Iowa State ahead of them.
Yep.
You've got some big programs ahead, like in the top 5. So I can understand, from a national perspective, maybe not feeling that the Buffs ahead of Texas, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, especially those 3, is realistic. But I definitely have them ahead of the Cyclones, man.
Yeah, for sure.
They're Cyclones with a win total set at 5.5.
Yeah.
The over is not that much of an improvement.
No.
So you just said Buffs win 4 games. That's a massive improvement from one win all year and being competitive in how many of those 10 losses?
Exactly. Yeah, going down to the wire.
Like 9?
I
mean, not competitive in like literally every single game.
Right.
Just a blowout. So no, I think like in that way on a compared to last year, which is what most improved should be, Buffs probably deserve to be a little higher, at least of the Cyclones.
I'd argue that too. I mean, it's a lot of the same teams every year.
It's every year, man.
Texas. They're number 5. Miami's number 2. And then, of course, the offseason champion every single offseason, Texas A&M.
Always, yes.
The Aggies at number 1.
Yeah.
Who else is on here? Who did I miss? Oh, Wisconsin at number 3. They brought in Luke Fickell.
Yeah, and they were really like bad last year. We haven't seen Wisconsin be that bad in quite a long while.
Right.
Fickell figures some things out. There's a lot of turnover for a lot of those starting quarterbacks in the Big Ten. So yeah, I think they'll get that figured out.
Mr. Maurice is asking if we're doing a board with the top 10 people who trashed Colorado during the offseason. I'll let you guys do that work. Use the bookmark function on Twitter. It's very helpful.
Exactly.
Very helpful.
There have been some amazing community leaders that have done this during this Nuggets run. You guys do it for the Buffs world, you know?
Buffs Twitter is strong.
You would know?
I do know.
Like Coach Prime, they have changed your life, so...
Charles Lester III put out a tweet, said something like a few weeks away or like 28 days away from his commitment, whatever. And then he put the 4 emojis. Buff emoji was first over the elephant for Alabama, the bulldog, and the Seminole. And just going through those replies, and Charles Lester's been heavily linked to Colorado for sure. Colorado's dominating his replies. He sees Buff Nation.
That means something to those kids.
It really does.
As it would, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're putting that post out, you're going to see the replies. And you're going to kind of be able to tell. And that also gives you, like, the ability to gauge what's the hype going to be like? What's the excitement like when I hit campus, right?
Yep.
Like, it all checks out. It makes sense. So, yeah.
All right. Let's get to questions. But first, a word from our friends at Breckenridge Brewery. We finally found out our beer of the month. It's Palisade Peach.
Boom. Love that. We were enjoying that on the weekend.
There you go. It's one of my favorite beers from Breckenridge Brewery. We got that one on tap. We got a ton of their beers on tap here. We got the Mountain Beach Sour. We got the Avalanche Amber Ale, Vanilla Porter Jr., Funslinger, all that good stuff. Breck Brew has been doing it for 33 years, and it all comes down to the love and passion for making good beer. If you can't come to the DNVR bar, check out their beer locator at www.breckbrew.com, and you can find a Breck Brew near you.
Nailed it.
And then also shout out to Backus and Shanker. They are here for you if you get hurt. They've been helping Colorado families win for more than 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
No fees to speak with them about your case. No fees while they work on your case. And no fees unless they win your case and win money for you. Won over $1 billion for their clients. Neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Englewood, and Fort Collins. Help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accident, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrian, and trucks. They can even help if you're injured at work. Smash that Shador line, 222-2222. To find out if you have a case for free, Backus and Shanker.
Look at the great Sean Kemp giving his approval of the Palisade
My guy,
Peach.
what's up? Hell yeah. Yes, sir. We'll be probably slamming some Palisade Peaches with Sean when he comes down here before the TCU game.
Damn straight. Have you had Palisade Peaches that aren't in a Breck beer?
I can't say I've actually had a Palisade Peach.
They're famous out here, you know. We
Are
stopped on the road driving down from the mountains to pick up.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to. We'll
You're
get
gonna
you
hook me
on
up?
some Palisade
All right.
Peaches. Yeah, we'll do
Hell
that.
yeah.
We'll do that. You don't know Colorado until you've had a Palisade
right.
Peach. They are juicy and delicious. I can tell you that much.
I'm about it. Smash that like button right now, guys. Subscribe to the channel.
Let's get those numbers up.
Also, subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app, Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Yeah.
In the time I'm talking this right now, you can pull out your phone, pull open the app, just type Buffs in the search bar. We'll be the first show to come up. Make sure you subscribe.
That easy.
And we'd appreciate your 5-star review.
Damn straight.
Are we getting trolled today, Alyssa? A little.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad,
It
right?
is what it is.
Yeah.
Jays, do we think Cormani will start versus TCU? Even Coach Mo said he wished Cormani was able to come earlier so he could have a head start. I think he's going to start.
There's enough time to get him there.
Yeah.
This is early enough to get it going.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it'd be nicer if he was on campus earlier. He's kind of going through it now, adjusting to the altitude and, coming all the way from Florida where you're at basically sea level. It's a massive jump. It doesn't take long to adjust, and I'm sure it'll be a few weeks before he's out there looking like the Cormani McClain we saw in film.
Yeah, exactly. So. And the beauty is the depth at corner is fantastic. So
yep,
have no fear.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of options.
Right.
So Cormani will be in that mix. I mean, he's gonna be in your 2 deep, that's for sure.
Yep. Karoom.
But I guess he starts.
Are you guys on Threads? I am on Threads at Jake DNVR.
All right.
Are you on Threads yet?
Yeah, Andre Simone, I think.
Unbanned.
I think it's Andre Simone 40. So my old Insta account was a Dre Day and everybody celebrating. So I think this is better. More people will be able to type that out.
We're happy you're unbanned and can join us on Threads.
Yeah, I
experience
guess.
this with us.
I guess so. Yeah, thanks. Your support means the world.
What's up, Angela? How do you see Sean Lewis ideas mixing with Pat Shurmur / Andy Reid ideas? Pat Shurmur coached with Andy Reid for 10 years. Does this mean 5 wide may be the norm? Interesting. Great question. I mean, you got some air raid influence coming in with Brett Bartolone. I think you will see some 5 wide, but, as we've said, Sean Lewis is going to be, this is his offense. And
100%.
From what I remember, I don't remember seeing much 5 wide. I mean, he does do it. He does it out of 11 a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not like, they're just going to run and just drop back out of shotgun at 5 wide.
Yep.
Every single snap.
No, it's more of a power spread.
Yes.
Right? I think there are some air raid concepts where you are going to see those kind of 4 and 5 wide formations. But it's a power spread. It's a lot of misdirection at the line of scrimmage. It's a lot of motion and movement pre-snap that might go in the opposite direction of where the play is going. Just like constantly messing with linebackers and back 7 defenders' cues and then just kind of hitting them with the opposite. I think you'll see some tighter formations, right? A la Sean McVay,
right.
those that tighter 11 personnel.
I love that stuff too.
Oh my God, it's the best.
It's great.
It's the best, and in college it can have even more impact
because of
more
the
spacing
hashes.
to the hash.
Yep.
Yeah. So, no man. To me, if there's one trait of the Sean Lewis offense, is don't expect any heavy dose of one thing.
Right.
He's gonna mix and match. He's gonna take away your cues. He's gonna throw the kitchen sink at you, man. It is such a Lincoln Riley offense.
Yeah, it's
such
amazing.
a Lincoln Riley offense. And again, I repeat, Shurmur did coach under Chip Kelly for a stretch there in Philly. That's where there might be more commonalities with the Sean Lewis offense.
Right.
Just something to consider.
It's a fantastic breakdown. I mean, you're exactly right. That's what this whole offense is designed about, is having options, and it's based on efficiency and just getting into the right play at the right moment. Doesn't really matter if it's a run or a pass.
Yep.
If you give them what they, they're going to take what you give, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
Luis, where's RK? RK is out in Vegas.
NBA Summer League.
Yep.
Overseeing the content for the entire network.
He'll be back later this week.
Great man.
He's a great man. Al, wasn't there another O-lineman that committed a few weeks back? There probably was. There's too many. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I mean, a few weeks back is also pretty.
We're also seeing these JUCO guys starting to trickle in finally from this JUCO camp they had. Our guy Jeremiah McCrimmon talked about going to that camp all the way from North Carolina. So the offers are starting to come out. And we're starting to see who stood out.
Yeah.
In those camps.
And leading directly to commits then. Which you love. That doesn't happen that didn't happen in the Buffs past. Like, oh yeah, we just brought some kids into camp. Now the ones we wanted are just like, yep, signing their letters of intent. That easy. Put on a camp, have the kids come in, and boom, they're yours.
Yep.
was unheard of
I know.
prior to this, you know. So whatever, man. Crazy times we live
It
in. I
is
love
crazy.
every second
That's
of
great
it.
perspective of it, though. Sean's asking if you're going to come to the Rockies game with us when he comes into town before the TCU game. His Braves are coming down here to play the Rockies.
Yeah, I could make that happen.
Let's do it.
That sounds delightful, in fact. Thank you for the invite, Sean.
Eric, what's up, man? Jake and Andre, do you prefer, or do you think Prime had a conversation with Sean Lewis prior to the hiring of Pat Shurmur? I have to believe he did. I mean, I'm sure he did.
You're sure he did?
I mean, yeah.
Sure.
It's his offense.
Absolutely. I'm sure that would be something you'd fill him in on. I also think that the way Coach Prime has things structured, there's probably could have gotten away with not letting Sean Lewis know, and everyone would feel just fine and understand the deal and understand that an experienced offensive mind at the level that Pat Shurmur's coach staff is just an asset and not someone who's cramping Sean Lewis's style in any way, you know?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure Sean Lewis had to. I mean, maybe he just knows him. Maybe that's the link that brought him in. Who knows?
Right. Could be. Yeah, because what other link would there be?
And nothing Coach Prime related pops off in my head right away.
Not at all.
And you mentioned he's from Michigan State. That's the Midwest. That's Sean Lewis's area.
Yeah. Yeah, Midwest through and through.
All right, while you look that up, Tavon's asking, when do we get some new Buffs gear? I don't know right now. We will have a restock before the season, I was told today, and we will definitely let you guys know on this show.
You'll know soon.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of stuff for y'all.
Yeah.
Sean again, how did I Like Georgia Boys barbecue? Saw that me and Brian went. The owners are homeboys of mine, went to a rival high school here in my hometown. Hell yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
It was great. I thought it was pretty good.
I heard incredible stuff.
Well, the Saucy Southern, what we went to last week that was something else.
Off the chains, huh?
Yeah, you got to check that out.
I sure will.
Steven, with our current running backs room, could they replicate the combo of Bobby Purify and Chris Brown?
Boy, that'd be glorious. That would be lovely. I do think it's a different era in college football. I don't know that, Purify, Chris Brown, Lendale, Reggie Bush. Remember that great backfield at Arkansas with McFadden and, who was the little scat back? Jones. Felix Jones. Peyton Hillis is their fullback.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more ball in the quarterback's hand, lots of talented wide receivers. Let's get the ball to them in space and keep this thing up tempo than those backfield combos.
Mm-hmm.
So while I would love to say yes, I think maybe the sport's in a different era and we've moved past that kind of stuff.
Right. In terms of talent, it's probably the best backfield since then.
No
just
doubt.
Going into the season.
No doubt. And I mean, add, the smoke and McCaskill
Yeah.
with a guy like Dylan Edwards even,
There
and
you
boom,
go.
you already have an interesting 1-2 right there.
Right.
Whether it's McCaskill Smoke or McCaskill Edwards, for example,
Yep. The chat had us. It's the Minnesota link with Coach Zimmer. That's probably what brought Shurmur in.
See?
No.
Yeah. That makes a ton of sense.
Eric again, Colorado's playing UCLA at UCLA. Any chance of a tailgate at the Rose Bowl? I live nearby. I don't know about LA. I don't know about LA just yet. We'll
have to see, man.
That's a bit further out, yeah. We'll let y'all know though. Here you go, Dre. I know you're an AC fan, but did you root for Inter in the Champions League final?
No. No. Would you root for Nebraska in the national final? Is that
or
something
Colorado State?
Right. Is that something you would do? Would you want that team to have those bragging rights over your head? No, absolutely not. I rooted against them with all my passion. And that's my dad's team. So I don't know what that says about me, but I was not rooting for his success or his joy. I was rooting merely for a little less embarrassment on my side. That's a good question, Jay. It's a good question. I don't mean to be snarky Dre on you, you know. Just seeing that team's name sometimes makes my blood boil, you know? That's just how life is.
A lot of people saying they'll be at the Rose Bowl. Big T's asking if Boulder has a city flag. They might do a flag uni like Maryland did. I mean, I just looked it up. They, I guess, technically have a flag. I know they have a seal. But that's what the flag is looking like, is the seal just on like a white background. So
yeah, I think what would be more likely, and the Maryland comp aren't they using? They're using the state flag there, right?
They got rid of that too. They're not doing that anymore, I don't think.
So I think at most you would see CU use like a state flag uni, which has already been done by the Rams, and just doesn't really feel like the Buffs branding. There you go. Bring RK back and see what thoughts he has on this. He's kind of our uni expert.
Yeah.
Top of being our Buffs historian.
Well, Boulder historian too.
Yeah, indeed. Though I too was born Boulder Community Hospital. I do have that going for me.
There you go, man. Good show.
Good show. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like Justin Michael's going to be on tomorrow. We're going to break down all this realignment nonsense and make sense of what's going on. He's pretty tapped in the Mountain West.
It's a wild time in college football.
It's insane.
Yeah, indeed.
All right.
That's going to do it.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.